YouTube, hello. I just want to do this quick video. It's probably going to be like 10, 15 minutes maybe, if that. Where I just want to talk to you guys for a little bit. I want to talk to you guys about midterms, and we're coming up on midterms. So it's a big deal for a lot of us. If you're in college, it's a very stressful period of time. I promise you this is not make it or break it time. That's finals. Let's be honest with ourselves. That's finals. So that's when you really need to start worrying about make it or break it. When you start inching around finals, as long as you're doing your homework right now, you're doing really good. Um, hopefully you're only if you're missing any assignments, hopefully it's only like an assignment or two. Um, don't be missing like projects and whatnot. Projects are important. You don't want to miss that. Um, what is a concern is doing your projects and trying your best to do good on this exam. For these exams that are going on, you're gonna at worst you want a 50. That's really what you're aiming for. You want a 50. That's your bar. If you're getting lower, that's okay. You can make it up in the final. But 50 is somewhere where you want to be and be very safe. Like I said, if you're getting lower, it is what it is. I've passed classes where I got like a 20 on the midterm. Like 20 points period. I've passed a class where, you know, I've done bad on midterms and whatnot. So, be prepared for all of that. Be prepared to be prepared for this to be a very, very stressful week. And hey, maybe you're through midterms already. This video is getting posted very soon. So maybe you're through midterms already. Maybe midterms have happened for you. What I can recommend for midterms, take some time. Take some time to de-stress, take some time to relax. I think that's very, very important. To take some time and relax. Be proud of what you've done, and if you're not proud of it, then just whatever you got to do, go relax for a little bit. And however you feel like you did on the exams, just understand maybe you should take some time away from the exams, away from all of the stress, and take some time to yourself, maybe a day or two from like on the weekend or something. That's completely okay. And a lot of people do that. A lot of us like to take some time to just like, hey, I'm going to take a breather from school and all of this on the weekend or whenever you don't have classes. It's a good respite. Uh Another thing that I can recommend for you is depending on how you did on the exams, maybe it's time to re up your focus somewhere, after your break, of course. But if you feel like you did really bad on certain classes, maybe it's time to look into that class and see, hey, what can I be doing better? Where did these questions come from? That's a big point. Where did these questions come from? Is this very similar to the homework that I haven't been doing that's not due? Like, because some teachers don't make their homework due, but they assign you questions. So you really need to ask yourself, is this homework? Is this homework questions that I should be working on? And that's important. Look at your homework questions. Am I struggling with my homework questions? If it's an open note test or quiz or whatever you're taking and you're struggling, uh, understand. Open note, open book does not mean shit for how easy the exam is going to be. It really doesn't. Open note, open book means nothing in this world. Um, open note and open book often leads to, if the professor's really, really smart, it's going to have nothing to do with the book. It's going to have nothing to do with it's going to have some to do with the book, but you're not just going to be able to look in the book and find the answer. You're going to need to know how to math wise, you're going to need to know how to massage the equations. um Honestly, with English, you typically don't have an exam, so don't worry too much about that. Art, um I don't think they do very many open note quizzes and exams. Just understand, if it's open note and open book, or you're using a cheat sheet or whatever, that doesn't mean that it's a problem. That doesn't mean that you failed because you're not smart enough, even though it was open note and open book. Don't worry about that. It really means nothing. So another thing that I want to say is, for anyone that's going into the finals, look talk to your professor. See if your professor has either a study guide that they want to give you, or questions that they want to give you that are very similar, and work on those. I've had some study guides that do fuck all. They really mean nothing. Where I looked at them, I studied them, I worked hard on them, and they did nothing for me. And maybe you're at the point in the semester when you're starting to feel a little bit of the heat, and that happens a lot. Midterms is when the heat starts to get turned up, and then you'll have a little bit of a lull after midterms, and then it starts to pick up again. Probably midway through midterms and finals is when it starts to get bad again, and then it gets things will get a lot busier around then, midway through. So for you STEM majors, I really recommend stay strong, don't stress about it. It's okay. It's all going to be okay. You're going to get through it. I promise you. As long as you're working hard and you're doing what you need to do, you will get through this. But yeah, I really wanted to take this time and just check in on you guys, make sure everyone was doing okay. It's stressful. College is stressful, and if you're in high school, you're probably coming up. You're not quite at exams yet. Your midterm exams, because your midterm exams happen in the beginning or in the middle. And high school midterm exams are a little bit more lax. Finals is where high school really, it can be a little bit more stressful exam wise. Also, another recommendation, I know we talked about this in my last video, but that's okay. We can reiterate really quick. Be careful. Note what classes you're doing good in right now. What classes are you not concerned about? Think about that for a minute. If you're going into exams, think about that for a minute. What exam am I struggling? What class am I struggling with, and what am I doing well in? Take that moment to think to yourself, can I do good on this exam without studying? If the answer is yes, study a little bit. You still want to look over everything and make sure that you're doing fine. You know, if you're acing all the quizzes, if you're doing perfectly fine, and this is your midterm or whatever, great. Study a little bit. Make sure you view a lot of the older material, because a lot of the newer stuff will be fresher in your head. The older material could be a little bit more important when you're studying. Now, if you're looking at yourself and you're thinking, I don't know what the fuck is going on in this class for another class, and you really think that no matter what you do, you can't pull this exam off, be real with yourself sometimes, and you need to think, because if you have two of those classes, if you only have one, or if you only have one or two of those classes, and you have enough time to study for both, do it. Study for both. Take the time, take the weekend, take a couple days, and really sit there and home in, look over the textbook, look over questions. Again, talk to your professor, see what you can study that will be really good on the exam. That would be really good to study on the exam. If they can tell you what the focus of the exam is, that's great. If not, it is what it is. Some of them are assholes and just like, well, you should know, it's everything. And they'll be jerks like that. And that happens. Don't worry about it. But yeah, if you've got like 3 or 4 classes that you're like, I'm fucked, you gotta look, and you have to judge what you're doing. What can you, because in those classes that you're saying like, I'm fucked on this exam, I guarantee there's somewhere like you're doing fine on the homework on one of them, and that's keeping your grade very well afloat, or you've been acing the quizzes, but like overall you just don't know a lot about the class, you don't feel like you can do well on that exam. Be real with yourself and look at it like this. If there, I've got projects for this class, so that'll make up points for my grade. Think about that for a minute. Think about which classes you can do that for. I'm not saying do it if you don't have to. I'm saying if you absolutely have to, do that. Look at your grades. Look at your grades. Look at what the syllabus is. Look at where you need to be with this exam. Um, look at where you need to be with this class. See, because a lot of times the midterm exam is worth like 20% of your grade. So if you're getting like a 30 or 40 on it, you'll be okay as long as you're doing fine everywhere else. And then you just need to worry about the final. And finals are a little bit easier because you don't have homework with your finals. So think about that for a minute. And then on top of that, a lot of times sometimes midterms can even be 15%, which is like nothing, realistically. Because if you get as flat 0 on that, that brings you get an automatic 85. Think about that for a minute. This is and these are questions for people that are really struggling. If you're doing fine, if you want an A, then you got to put in the work for an A. Let's be real. Put in the work for an A. But if you're looking to pass and get through and have a good enough grade, good enough meaning like at worst a C. You don't want to pass with a D. At worst a C. This is what you have to do. You have to look and judge which class can I bomb this exam on? Which class can I do terribly on this exam on? And that's an okay question to ask yourself. It really, really is. I've asked myself that question a couple times. Because there's some classes that you're like, and sometimes you'll even do that for classes that you're doing really, really well in. If you're doing really, really well in, but you're like not 100% on the exam, sometimes you need to do this little math in your head of like, I can fail this exam and be okay. Or even better, I can do okay on this exam if I don't study, but I can do great if I do study. And so if you are like, but I'm fucked on this exam if I don't study my ass off, you need to study your ass off on that other exam. That's more important because you're struggling on that one a little bit more, or a lot more, really. So do that. Do that kind of stuff. And maybe my tips aren't for everyone, but this is just what I recommend as having gone through and I'm almost done. As is, I do that with homework sometimes, where I look at homework and it's just like, fuck, this homework is due, and I completely forgot about it, and I'll just be like, I can take the L on this homework right here, and that's it. And I just take the L and I try my best to push it out of my head. Maybe I'll try and make it up later, where I, do that homework and turn it in late. If your teacher's cool like that, that's great. If not, sometimes you just gotta look at yourself and be like, I gotta take this L. It's bad, but I gotta do it. So yeah, let's that's what I have to say about that. Anyways, this is my midterm check-in. I want to make sure that all of you are doing okay, give a little bit of recommendations for what I have going forward. Maybe this is the point when you're realizing that, man, I really hate my fucking degree. This is the point to make that decision. You need to pass your classes, even if you hate your degree. You need to pass your classes so you don't get kicked out of school and you don't lose your scholarships and everything else. That's important. Don't get kicked out. Don't lose your scholarships. That's important. But at the same time, finish the semester out, and then you need to go talk to your guidance counselor and be like, hey, I need to switch. I need to be out of this degree and I need to be in a new degree like next semester. I need to start something next semester, and maybe they'll tell you, well, but luckily if you're in your first year, if you're in your junior year and you're looking to switch, I promise you, it's hard. This sucks. I get it. STEM majors. I hear you. I'm with you. I'm one of you. This sucks. Junior year, beginning of junior year, late sophomore year, this fucking sucks. You hate it, right? Stick it out. You're almost done. Lights at the end of the tunnel. You can see it. I promise. Look, it's down there. You can see it. You see the light in my glasses? That's the fucking tunnel. Go through it. Keep fucking going. I promise you'll make it through. Junior year is hard. Junior and sophomore year can be hard. Second semester sophomore year can be really hard. Um, Stick it out. Do it. Make it through. I promise you'll do great. I have faith in you. I really, really do. So this is overall, I think that's pretty much all I need to say about all of this. But with that, I really appreciate everyone that stops by and watches this video. If you guys have any questions coming into midterms, going through midterms, let me know. Hit me up. My Instagram's everywhere. If you're seeing this video on YouTube, my Instagram, Twitter, everything is on there. And if you want to talk to me live in person like this, feel free to stop by Twitch. I will talk to you. Even I know I can be bad at looking at the chat sometimes, but I will talk to you. I will talk to you. I will walk you through some of the struggles that you might be having, but I don't want you to quit. And if you need somebody to talk you through that doesn't want you to quit, I'm here for you. I'll talk with you on Twitch. Another thing is, I said that I don't want you to quit. Freshmen and sophomores, looking at your first semester sophomore year and your freshmen. Typically by sophomore year, you should know this isn't for me or not. But if you're still giving it one more good old college try, maybe this is the time to look at yourself and say, you know what, this isn't for me. I'm not enjoying this. I don't like this. I don't want to do this anymore. Don't go get into a trade. Go do something else with your life that you want to do. I recommend a trade. That's really your only other route, in my opinion. You can work your way up through another company that maybe you're really interested in, but by trade, I mean a trade can be anything that you have talent in. Go do it. If you'd rather be doing that. If you want to go be a mechanic, go be a mechanic. Get your certs. That's important. I do think your certs are very, very important. That's how that, and maybe you can come back to school, very, very low, very, very low on classes and get your degree in business. It's a good idea if you're gonna be getting into a trade. Get your degree, get your associates in business so you know what the fuck is going on, right? It's a good idea. But understand that if you are truly unhappy in your degree and you really think like, fuck, what am I doing here? Don't be there anymore then. Don't be there. And like that being said, if there's some glimmer of hope there, stay. I want you to stay and I want you to try it. But college isn't for everyone. Maybe a trade is for you. Maybe some other job is for you. Maybe you need to start working freelance somewhere along the way. Go do that, please. Do what makes you happy. Be happy being you. That's the biggest recommendation I can give you. Be happy being you. That's the best thing that you can do. And if you're not being happy as you at college, don't be at college anymore. And maybe midterms are the time that you need to that you're going to be looking at yourself and saying, fuck, this isn't for me. I hate this. Especially your first semester freshman. Maybe you're looking at yourself and like, fuck, I tried and I hate it. I hate this so much. And I'm not saying, maybe you hate it because you don't like being so far away from home. That's fine. Switch schools. Don't drop out. Switch schools. But if you truly hate it, you feel like you're not getting anything out of it, you feel like you're not doing well, and maybe you're not happy because you're in school and you'd be happier doing something else, go do that something else. It's so much more important for you to go do that something else, because I promise if you're more passionate about that, you will be better off. Unfortunately for me, my hobby, my passion is this, so it's not like I could just drop everything and do this instead. I'm not quite there yet. And if you're gonna do something like this, I do recommend have a fallback plan. Get into a trade. Have a fallback plan. Fallback plans are very, very important when you're getting into something like something of any form of art. If you want to consider what I do art, then yeah. So that's very, very important for you to have a fallback when it comes to something like that with a trade and whatnot. And that's not to say like photographers can find work. Photographers and whatnot can find work. Actors can find work somewhere along the way. Or I do actually know an actor. Um, she's not famous yet. I have high hopes for her. Laura, I'm rooting for you. Uh, but I do. She's going for she has a backup plan, which is great. Um, I'm doing this for shits and giggles, and if it blows up, that's great, and I get to go somewhere with it. But if it doesn't, I have engineering as my job, and I can't call it a backup at this point anymore. It's not a backup. It's my job, or it's going to be my full time job when I get out. Right now, it's only a part time. I'm an intern. So yeah, I think it's important for you to look at that kind of stuff and say, I want to do this, and if what you want to do is YouTube, you need a backup. That's about all I can recommend. So some of you might be needing to look in the mirror and ask yourself some hard questions, and that's okay. If you want to talk through some of those hard questions with me, I'm here. Instagram, Twitch, I'm here. Or even on what's it called? Twitter. I'm on Twitter a lot. I don't DM anyone. I don't post. I don't do anything. But I'm on Twitter a lot. I read through Twitter. Sorry, I'm yawning. But yeah, I hope you all are happy with that. I'll see you guys around. I love you guys. Stay safe. Stay strong. I promise. If late sophomores, juniors, seniors, fucking stick it out. Do it. You'll be better off. You might hate your life now, but you'll be so much happier. Do it. Stick it out. All right. I love you all. Bye.